Chapter 1, Alter Your Focal Point. Synopsis. Have you ever been on a date with somebody who simply kept blabbing on about themselves? If you have, then you understand what it feels like to wish for a random airplane to land on somebody. Many individuals that you meet in life will squander your time attempting to convince you of their worth. They'll brag to you about their achievements and prizes. They will work to convince you that they're the cleverest individual ever to live. Do not be that individual. Do not be the individual who's driven by selfishness. Transfer the focal point from yourself to other people. Brag on your acquaintances and followers. Congratulate their strengths and treasure their achievements. Value of others. Self-value says far more about how you are doing in humanity than self-esteem. Self-regard is frequently confused with ego and self-concept, how you respect yourself. Self-value is to a greater extent behavioral, more about how you handle yourself than how you consider yourself. To value something is more than regarding it as significant. To value it is to value its finer qualities and to vest time, energy, sweat, and sacrifice in its care. For instance, if you've a Da Vinci painting, you center on its beauty and designing, more than the breaks in the paint, and, most especially, you care for it well, making a point that it's maintained in paragon conditions of temperature and humidity. Likewise, individuals with self-value value their finer qualities, while attempting to improve their lesser ones, and attend to their physical and psychological wellness, development, and growth. Now here's the slick part. Individuals with elevated self-value inevitably value other people. The more they value other people, the greater their self-value develops. While difficult to see in yourself, you are able to likely notice the following disposition in others. When they treasure somebody else, they value themselves more, i.e., they lift their sense of well-being, treasure their better qualities, and better their wellness, development, and growth. But when they undervalue somebody else, they undervalue themselves, their sense of well-being drops, they assault their basic humanity to some level, and become narrower and more set in perspective, all of which impair development and growth. Put differently, as you value somebody else, you undergo a state of value, a sense of verve, meaning, and purpose. Literally, your will to live grows, and when you undervalue somebody else you go through a depreciated state, wherein the will to live well gets more insignificant than the will to dominate or at any rate be seen as correct. It's frequently difficult to notice that you're in an undervalued state, as undervaluing other people calls for a particular amount of adrenaline, which brings on a temporary feeling of might and certainty. You feel correct, though you're more likely self-righteousness, however it lasts only as long as the stimulation lasts. To stay correct, you have to remain energized, negative, and constricted in perspective. Each time I consider him I get annoyed. In contrast, when self-value is elevated, you more easily view others' positions and may disagree with them without feeling undervalued and without undervaluing. The urge to undervalue other people always signals a belittled sense of self, as you must be in an undervalued state to undervalue. That's why it's so difficult to put somebody down when you feel truly good. Your value investiture is elevated, and equally difficult to build yourself up once you feel resentful. If you question the latter, consider what you say to yourself and other people once resentful, things such as, I shouldn't have to endure this, I deserve more, just look at all the great things I accomplish. When you value other people, i.e., when your self-value is elevated, you don't consider what you have to endure and you surely don't feel the need to list the great things you accomplish. Instead, when faced with life or relationship challenges, you change automatically into improve mode. You attempt to make sorry situations more beneficial. The grand scam of undervaluing other people is that it never places you in touch with the most crucial things about you and, consequently, never elevates self-value. To the contrary, its entire purpose is to make somebody else's value appear lower than your own. If it works, you're both downhearted. If it doesn't, you wind up lower than where you began, when the adrenaline wears away and you see matters in more than one dimension. In either example, your personal worth remains low and contingent on downward comparison to those you undervalue. This dependency on downwardly comparison produces a habitual state of powerlessness. You are able to only feel all right if you feel more of value, i.e., more correct or intelligent than those you undervalue. The need to acquire temporary empowerment by undervaluing other people happens more frequently, till, finally, it absorbs your life. This may be what Wilde meant by unfavorable judgment as the only dependable form of autobiography. Treasuring other people makes self-value surge. It likewise carries strong social reward. Showing value tends to conjure up reciprocity and cooperation. Undervaluing other people inspires reciprocity and opposition. Worst of all, it makes us seek something to be testy about, so the low-grade adrenaline may expand our egos enough to get us through the day. Whenever you wish to step up self-value, the most certain route is to step up the amount of value you invest in other people, while diminishing the amount of unfavorable judgment and additional forms of undervaluing you do. Chapter 2: Trust in Individuals. Synopsis. It's simple not to trust individuals. It's simple to think that other people will fail you and let you down. We've all felt our share of letdowns, and we understand that infliction that comes from them. It's occasionally much simpler to keep our distance from individuals and play it safe. But the peril is worth the payoff. Regardless what other people may do to disappoint, we may still keep trusting. We may encourage individuals. We may inspire individuals. We may let our acquaintances and followers understand that we believe in their efforts. Trust. What behavioral traits do individuals need in order to acquire trust? Individuals have to develop the following behavior traits, mental attitudes and beliefs in order to acquire trust. Trust in the goodness of humans. Without such hope, individuals may get emotionally stuck, reclusive and detached. Hope in goodness is an alteration based on the willingness to take a gamble that all individuals are not evil, bad or ill-willed. Faith in the fair-mindedness of life. This faith in fair-mindedness is similar to the backfire belief that what you throw out to other people will return to you finally in life. So if individuals are just honest or nurturing, they'll finally get similar behavior directed back at them. Having trust in fair-mindedness is a mental attitude that helps individuals be open to other people and risk being vulnerable. They trust that the individual who treats them negatively will finally get it at last, and be penalized in some manner later in this life or in the following. Belief in a power bigger than yourself. This is the acceptance of a spiritual mightiness with bigger strength, wisdom and cognition than you, one with an inspired plan to include your experience, whatever you'll come across in life. Instead of believing that you're 100% in control of your fate, belief in this spiritual might enables you to relinquish obligation, guilt and angriness. This lets you live with the higher power's will in your life and enables you to relinquish your distrust and isolation from other people. If the higher power is in control of the cosmos, you are able to lighten your load and let the higher power do some of the directing in your life. Amending environment. This is the producing of a trust bond with the significant others in your personal life where faulting, accusing and bitterness don't exist. In the mending mode, the players actively utilize forgiveness, sympathy and healthy communication to settle issues and trouble. The players are then willing to forget, to relinquish and to free themselves of the past wounds, hurts and pain, opening themselves to trust each other. Reducing the sense of competition. This reducing of competition, the green-eyed monster and defensiveness with significant others in your life is a method to cut back the barriers between you and them. The depressing of these psychological roadblocks is crucial to the movement towards development of reciprocal trust. Self-disclosure of damaging self-scripts. Your exposing of your inability to feel great about yourself and your perceived lack of sound self-respect are crucial in reducing miscommunication or misunderstanding between you and the significant others in your life. This self-disclosure discloses to the other people your perspective on obstructions you believe you bring to kinships. This sloughs the mask of self-defensiveness and lets the other understand you as you understand yourself. It's easier to trust that which is true than that which is artificial or hidden. Accepting a risk to be open to other people. This enables you to become a true individual to other people. It's a crucial behavior in trust building between two individuals, because it's the launching of the parameters of strengths and failings on which you have to draw as the kinship develops. Getting vulnerable. This enables you to be heard by other people who understand your failings and strengths. This is a crucial step in trust building between individuals. It lays the cards on the table in a risk that in such unconditioned self-revelation the other people will accept you for who you truly are instead of for who they wish you to be. In order to acquire to full self-disclosure, you must take the chance to be vulnerable to other people. This is a crucial unit in trust development. Relinquishing fear. Fear curtails your actions with other people. Relinquishing frees you of behavioral restraints that may block your emotional evolution. Dread of rejection, dread of failure, dread of caring, dread of success, dread of being hurt, dread of the strange and dread of intimacy are barricades to the evolution of trust relationships and may impede relationship growth if not given suitable attention and alterative action. Self-acceptance. Swallowing who you are and what your potential is a crucial step in lowering your guard enough to acquire a trusting relationship with other people. If you're so insecure in your individuality that you're unable to live with yourself first, how may you accomplish the self-revelation essential to develop trust? Self-acceptance through a dynamic program of self-affirmation and self-love is central to the evolution of trust. Increasingly more of us are executing business without ever meeting our service providers one-on-one. There's one basic stumbling block that may hinder any deal, and that's the topic of trust. Here are 5 easy steps that have helped me to construct trust online. Individuals have to be able to contact you promptly and easily. Display a link to your contact page above the middle of the page, i.e., without your reader being forced to scroll down your website. The faster somebody may find your contact details, the more beneficial, as a lot of individuals will visit your website for the solitary purpose of sending off a message. Include customer recommendations for your products or services. It's crucial to link to your customer site or to provide their contact info. So many individuals counterfeit their testimonials, but it's commonly easy to spot: no link, no photo, and no contact particulars. A professional weblog or blog may do wonders for constructing trust, particularly if the subjects you write on are related to the product or service you provide. Your personality issues forth in the language you utilize, and first-time visitors get to understand you by reading your conversations with commentators. This is where your weblog comment threads play a critical role. By including a photo online, it may only be on your contact page, you help establish rapport between you and your prospective client. If you show ads on your site, don't let it overwhelm your own material. There are few matters more off-putting than a site jammed with AdSense or blinking banners. If you do monetize your website, hold it relevant. Showing 3 relevant advertisements is much less admonishing than just one that's altogether unrelated.